YN58 Hilux from December 1987. Now we've got a little problem underneath here. I was doing a very sharp U-turn and somehow managed to break that ball joint there, which is on the idler arm for the steering. So done a bit of bodgy bush mechanics here, just to keep it drivable, but we're going to replace the relay rod, since the ball joints are a permanent part of that unit. So now I've got to get all these tapered joints apart, which is going to be a pain in the ass, but has to be done. Just as I thought, this is going to be an absolute bloody pain. So I've tightened it up. Can't really get it at a decent angle to do this, but I think it's going to be like getting the back wheel off a Model T, except this is probably more difficult. So basically you've got to tighten this puller while banging on the thread. It's meant to jar it loose. The problem is with these things is that the tapered joint turns into a cold weld and it becomes bloody difficult. Real pest, bad design, but they all do it. So I've got to try and tighten it some more and then keep banging a bit more. Oh shit, it's worked. Oh, we're in luck. So that's the tie rod on the driver's side, nice and free. Excellent. Okay, this is the joint at the pitman arm to the relay rod. So that's next. I've backed off the nut a little bit and I'll just squirt some CRC into it, which will hopefully work its way down into the taper and make it a little bit easier. It's a good idea to keep the nut on, so when the puller tightens up, it protects the thread and you can still get the nut off. Okay, so tightening up the puller as much as I can. This is probably not going to work terribly well, but because I think the jaws of the puller are a little bit wider than the pitman arm, but we'll give it a go. Okay, let's try again. I get this as tight as I can, and then tap it with that hammer. Oh shit! Oh god, I'm glad this is not a modern plastic computerized bubble cart, because I'd never be able to do anything with that. I mean, they're not designed to be serviced, they're just junk. Okay. Oh shit. Alright, now I'm going to try heating the bloody thing with this torch here. I've got a piece of fibro, yeah. Okay, heating it didn't do a bloody thing. One piece of positive news is this carbide bit in a Dremel actually cuts into the hardened steel quite well. It's a lot better than a drill, so I'm actually making a little bit of progress here. So I'll keep carving away, hopefully get the taper joint loose enough. Well, so far we're actually getting somewhere. I've been at it, I don't know, about half an hour, 45 minutes. Gradually working my way into the hardened steel, getting down. I've got a magnet there to collect all the particles, because otherwise they sort of float up into the air and I don't particularly want to breathe them in. So yeah, I'll keep going. Well, there you go. It's separated. And that's what I used. And if you're curious why I didn't do that in the first place, it's because I didn't have that tool, and I had to go and get the train down to Springwood to purchase that. But yeah, so far so good. Okay, next is this one, and the idler arm up here. I might have to use the jack. Okay, that's got that free. Alright, I won't take that all the way off yet because I've got to yeah, deal with that horrible tapered joint. Have to do that, and then the idler arm up there. Oh shit. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Might need to hack that out with the spanner. It's quite so I need to get this rubber boot off, because that's just going to get in the way. This ball joint's been dry for quite a while. Probably explains the strange sounds I've had coming from the steering. Alright, so I need to find open-ended spanner I can put in there to pack that up. Excellent. The final horror is going to be this. And the thing with this is that I have to be very careful not to damage the boot for the tie rod end, otherwise I have to replace that, which would be a pain. Ah, gee. Okay, I don't expect this one to be very easy. Having been through the pains of this tool before. Yeah, if I wasn't going to reuse the tie rod end, yeah, I'd just use the pitchfork thing. But we shall see what happens with this. Oh, I don't believe it. Looks like this one's actually just popped out. That would be a miracle. Oh, it has too. Fantastic. Alright. So, relay rod is free. And I can get all these parts out. And I can take my bodgy piece of wood out. I think I can. Okay, relay rod is out. Oh, what a fucking relief. This is the new relay rod, as Toyota calls it, and I thought I should just check that everything lines up, because my luck is usually that you buy a part and you attempt to install it and find out that it's just not quite the same. But this looks good, and yeah, I shouldn't have to readjust the tie rod ends, so that'll be good. Lift this into position. So, tie rod end. Oh, wrong nut. Not to worry. Okay. And the nut for the tie rod. Okay, so just tentatively get this into place. I'll torque it all up properly once everything's in. Right, now to the next side. Okay, so we've got to bring the tie rod into position. Like so, and put its nut back on. And the final bit, it's the dreaded pitman arm. Okay. That's all captive, so now I can start doing it all up. Alright, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, final thing is to retighten that pitman arm nut and yeah, torque all the rest and put the split pins in. So there you have it. Extremely unpleasant job. The steering is a million times simpler. No horrible board joints or any tapered joints there. You can get this apart in 10 minutes with a couple of spanners. So yeah, Hilux will shortly be drivable. Carnage before I finish up. This is the joint that actually failed, and it looks like that's been running dry for quite some time. But yeah, that was on the idler arm. But yeah, every so often if I did a tight turn you'd hear a crunching noise, and I'd say that's what it was. And this is the remnants of the pitman arm end. You can see where I've dremeled down into it, and yeah, a bit of a mess. So I'm glad it's done.